He's a big guy. I think he's going to fill into that weight. He's a really big 155er. So I think his lifestyle outside of training camp is going to be a little more comfortable, and he'll fill into that weight class no problem. He could be champion there for sure.
How do you think he does against JDM?
I think the beginning of the fight's going to tell the story, like how well JDM does at getting up, how well JDM does at keeping Islam off of his feet, off of his legs, off of the cage. It's tough to call that because JDM's a big guy, athletic. I'm excited about that. A lot of fun fights in the future.
Max Holloway made waves when he urged fans not to count out Jack Della Maddalena.
Your thoughts on Islam moving up to welterweight?
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, you know. He's the number 2 pound for pound in the world. You gotta respect that, but don't sleep on Jack. I think it's gonna be a tough fight. Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and when that match happens, I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's going to be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack.
While many see Islam Makhachec as the favorite, Holloway's warning came with the reminder that the Australian's intelligence and ability to adapt could turn this fight into one of the most unpredictable contests of the year. He believed both men bring chaos and unpredictability into the cage, which could set the stage for some of the most electrifying moments fans have witnessed in a long time.
I think he'd be fine, man. I think he'd be good, you know, but people be sleeping on Jack, you know what I mean? And I think Jack is one of the best fighters in the world right now, and I think people is gonna find out when that match happens. I don't know. I'm hearing rumors maybe October. I think it's gonna be a fun fight, smart fight, but a lot of people counting out Jack for I don't know what reason. They just keep counting him out. Kind of reminds me of when I was like coming up and counting me out about certain fights. So I mean, he is, you know, he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world right now, but he's the number 2 pound for pound in the world for a reason, so you gotta respect that, but you know, don't sleep on Jack. I think it's going to be a tough and fun fight.
Others quickly chimed in with their own perspectives. Gilbert Burns drew attention to something that often goes unnoticed, the toll of cutting weight. He felt that moving away from lightweight could liberate Islam, allowing him to fight without draining his body to dangerous limits. Yet, Burns don't forget what Maddalena brings to the table. He pointed out that the Australian isn't coming into this fight without support. With minds like Craig Jones and Alexander Volkanovski in his corner, Jack would have more than his natural instincts guiding him. Burns recognized both sides of the story, Islam gaining physical freedom by avoiding brutal weight cuts and Maddalena sharpening his skills with tactical reinforcement from some of the smartest people in the sport.
Islam is working very hard. He's been saying vocal that he wants to go up to 170. I think he's a big boy. He killed himself to make 55. I think that's the right division for Islam. He just tweeted something after the fight that he will not vacate the title, and then he vacated the title. I don't know, but probably that was in the negotiation. Yeah, I like him moving up. I proven himself. He's number 1 pound for pound right now. It's a good fight. Jack and Islam closer than people think, especially with Jack Della Maddalena doing a lot of training with Volk, with Craig Jones, those guys that kind of back the Islam on that first Volk fight. I think they're going to have a lot of info, a lot of study, a lot of answers. It's closer than people think, this fight. I really like this fight. I don't have time right now. I didn't have time to dig deep a little too much in that fight, but I think it's way closer than people think, and JDM has a clear shot on beating.
Daniel Cormier, who knows the challenges of shifting divisions firsthand, emphasized the potential dangers that come with the move. He acknowledged Islam's dominance at lightweight, but warned that welterweight presents new tests. Facing naturally bigger fighters could make things complicated, and if Islam had trouble securing takedowns against stronger opponents, the entire structure of his game could collapse. For Cormier, Maddalena's defensive wrestling could become a key factor in forcing Islam into territory he hasn't had to navigate before.
JDM don't wrestle, but he was defending well, and he puts damage on you.
Off rip.
Starts putting damage on you, and he can box.
So how do you see that fight with him and Islam? Does he have the ability to beat a guy like Islam?
He'll get takedown attempts coming at him very early. This time. The last fight, he didn't have to deal with that when he was fresh. If Islam can start to pressure him early and take him down early, or even just make him wrestle, he might struggle. I don't know that he's ever felt anything like he's going to feel, because it's not going to be double legs and single leg with Islam. It's going to be him playing with his feet, tripping him, moving around on the octagon side, doing things that he don't recognize as freely.
But she didn't answer the question.
The problem is, like, I can only give you that because I can't truly make a prediction. The job doesn't allow it.
George Masvidal offered another layer of insight, speaking as someone who has spent years competing at welterweight. He admitted that moving up could help Islam's body, but the unfamiliar ground of 170 pounds might also leave him vulnerable. Masvidal didn't forget Maddalena's statement victory over Belal Muhammad either. That finish impressed him and left him convinced that the Aussie had the tools to ruin Islam's ambitions if the timing played out in his favor.
I've seen Islam, bro. He's a big guy. He's sucking out a lot of weight to get to 55. I think he might start doing better at 70. Problem is though, Jack is special. We're gonna see just how special he is if he beats Islam Jack, #1 pound for. Wow, that's impressive. You know, I'm leaning towards Islam, brother.
Oh, really?
You know, but I really think it's gonna be a tough fight for him, but a great fight, man.
Jack was able to defend takedown attempts by Belal.
Belal has the best cardio in MMA, but Belal doesn't have Islam's technique. Not same technique. Not same. Very good, very aggressive. Belal never stops. A dog. Attack. But Islam is like smart, man. Boom. You know, Islam's level of wrestling is above. His stand-up game is improving. I don't think he could go stand-up in the beginning with Jack. Jack has way better hands, way better range, faster, stronger. But as the rounds go on later and later, he could do.
Stephen Thompson took a more cautious stance. While he respected Maddalena's rise, he wondered if the move had come too early. With other contenders like Shavkat Rakhmonov and Ian Gary waiting their turn, Thompson questioned whether Maddalena's leap into such a massive fight was premature. Facing one of the sport's most accomplished fighters at the stage might turn out to be too overwhelming, no matter how promising Jack appears.
Who do you think wins that fight between Islam and Jack Della Maddalena?
Well, first off, I gotta say, if I was Shavkat Rakhmonov or Ian Gary or somebody that is right there who's really worked hard to get there, I'd be pretty pissed. Yeah. Because, you know, this guy JDM just got the title, and then he's giving somebody else a shot at what I've earned the right to have, you know, which is the title shot. Like, give JDM a shot at, you know, give him 1 or 2 more guys. If he beats them, then give him somebody outside the division. But I would be kind of pissed. I would be kind of upset that they're giving this guy immediately somebody from 155 division. Now, I think it's a very tough fight for Islam Makhachec. Bigger guy, somebody who won the title from somebody with a similar style in Belal Muhammad. Mm-hmm. I do believe Islam Makhachec striking is a lot better than Belal Muhammad's, but their pressure, their cardio, their wrestling background, fairly similar. Obviously, I think one would be better than the other, but he's faced somebody a lot exactly like him. So I think it would be a tough fight for Islam for sure.
Meanwhile, Yoel Romero praised the Australian in glowing terms. To him, Maddalena is more than just knockout power. His cardio, awareness inside the cage, and his willingness to step up in short notice all stood out. Romero referenced Maddalena's ability to take a tough fight against Muhammad and still rise to the occasion as proof that pressure doesn't easily crack him. For Romero, those traits made him more dangerous than some people realize.
Yoel Romero gives his honest take. Yoel Romero just shared his thoughts on a potential showdown between Islam Makhachec and Jack Della Maddalena, and it's a must-hear. Romero believes that Maddalena, while being a big 170-pounder, might face a tough challenge against Makhachev's superior grappling. Do you think Jack's striking can beat Makhachev's grappling?
Philip Rowe aligned himself firmly with Maddalena's chances. He believed that size and striking would dictate the fight, and the Aussie held the advantage in both. In his opinion, Islam simply doesn't have the natural frame to compete with true welterweights, and Jack's ability to combine strength with precision might prove overwhelming before the fight ever reached the judges.
Philip Rowe, what's cracking, man?
Chilling.
Hey, now listen, you're welterweight, you've been in the game a long time. Islam moving up to 170. Is he big enough for 170?
My personal opinion, I don't think he is, but he's a champ. We'll see when he's there. You know what I'm saying? He has a fight. He's fighting the champ. That's the best 170 in the world right now, right? So we'll see.
So you don't think he has the size, but how do you think he does in the fight versus JDM?
I personally think JDM beats him. I think JDM will be able to get up if he does take him down. I don't think he'll be able to take JDM shots. I think personally he'll stop Islam.
Robert Whittaker looked up at the weight issue from another angle. For him, Islam could actually thrive at welterweight. He argued that constantly cutting down to 155 takes toll over time, and Islam letting carry his strength up a division might unleash an even more effective version of him. Whittaker compared it to Ilia Toporia's rise and suggested that fans were eager to see how Islam's skills translates when he no longer has to punish his body to make weight.
Maybe. It's, I guess that's the $1 million question. That's the question everybody's asking. And that's kind of the question. It's the same situation as Topuria as well. How good is Topuria? And but what's he going to look like upper weight division? Same with Islam. By all reports, though, the weight cut was really hard for him, like really, really hard. He's super strong for that weight division, which, you know, must translate well to moving up, making it a little bit easy cut. Maybe he gets a little bigger. It's yeah, I'm very. Yeah, that's the $1 million question. Everybody's asking the same thing.
Not everyone shared that optimism. Demetrius Johnson, regarded by many as one of the greatest fighters in history, firmly backed Islam. For Johnson, Makhachev's ability to push forward, dictate pace, and blend striking with suffocating grappling makes him a nightmare at any weight. MMA Guru supported that view, adding that while Maddalena may enjoy moments of success, the constant looming threat of takedowns combined with Islam's striking power would eventually wear him down and break him.
Who you got? Ilya Islam.
I've got Makhachec.
I got Makhachec as well.
And I've got Makhachec second round TKO with a knee and
oh, yeah, you going bad rounds.
Yeah, I think he'll shoot a couple takedowns. Ilya will stuff it. Ilya will catch him a few times and people will go ooh and ah. And then when they clash again, I think Makhachec will go grab him. Yep. Ilya will think, oh, he's shooting again. Tie clinch, bang, yep. Body, knee to the head. Ilya's all of a sudden stumble downhill from there. I think he beats Holloway with a body shot though.
Steve Ursek couldn't overlook Maddalena's performance against Muhammad. He described it as one of the most polished displays ever by an Australian inside the octagon. The way Maddalena stayed composed, neutralized grappling, and kept landing clean shots impressed him deeply. Ursek even compared Maddalena's ability to withstand pressure to how Dustin Poirier had found ways to scramble and survive against Islam. If Poirier could manage moments like that, Ursek argued that Maddalena, with heavier hands and sharper timing, might push Islam even further.
Yes, I mean, I've known for a very long time that Jack is an amazing fighter. He's really good, and he shocked me on how good he was. Like, he handled the grappling exchanges so well, and it's the best striking performance I've seen from him. Like, he just, like, the big moment, like, he rose to the occasion. It was, like, fantastic to see, and I really do think, I do think the grappling from Islam, like, he's a better technical grappler than Bilal is, but he's not quite as big. He's not as imposing, and yeah, if you look at the Dustin Poirier fight, Poirier was able to stop some of his takedown and win some scrambles and stuff like that. I feel like not only will Jack be able to do that, but when he lands punches, it's going to be way more devastating.
Dan Hardy zoomed out to the bigger picture. He acknowledged Islam's dominance at lightweight, but wasn't convinced it would instantly carry over to welterweight. For Hardy, this fight was a pivotal test of Islam's long-term prospects in his new division. At the same time, he framed it as a huge opportunity for Maddalena to move beyond the label of rising star and establish himself as a legitimate long-term champion. In Hardy's view, the result would not only determine the winner of the night, but also define the trajectory of both men's careers moving forward.
John Jones against Tom Aspinall, which is the blockbuster. I think Della Maddalena's got a bright future. I don't know whether he's going to hold the belt or he's going to lose it to another one of the top contenders and then pick it back up again. I don't think he's going to lose it to Makhachec though. I think Makhachec holds the lightweight belt against anybody in the world, on any day, including Ilya Topuria. I don't think if he moved up, he would have.
Craig Jones, a grappling mastermind who had previously helped Volkanovski prepare for Makhachec, now plays a direct role in Maddalena's camp. His knowledge of Islam's tendencies on the ground could be critical. Jones has been working with Jack to strengthen his takedown defense and improve his ability to escape bad positions, and if Maddalena manages to stay upright, his striking could tilt the balance dramatically.
How do you think the fight against Islam goes? I think it's a super difficult fight. Obviously, he's faced Volk twice, so the first one very competitive, and now he's facing a guy that's best scrambling ability period in all of MMA. I think that's what Bilal struggled with, so I think the size difference is going to be quite a lot than people think, and we've seen how Volk did on the ground, how much Islam struggled with him. Jack beats Islam, puts Islam in a difficult position. Does he now go back down to fight Ilya after he loses?
While the technical breakdowns dominated so much of the conversation, Sean O'Malley chose to focus on the bigger narrative. To him, this wasn't just about Islam versus Maddalena, it was about what the outcome could set up in the future. He saw potential blockbuster fights on the horizon, such as Islam eventually facing Ilya Topuria. O'Malley also pointed out that Maddalena's wild streak inside the cage brings an element of unpredictability. If Jack can block takedowns and unleash his hands, one explosive moment could flip the entire fight upside down.
Islam relinquish his belt and go up to 170. Got JDM taking on Islam Makhachec.
I still think Islam's skill for skill is just
so high level. For him to go out there and do what he did against Bilal was very impressive, made that Islam fight more interesting. If JDM can shut him down and throw those hands, but Islam's boxing is underrated. That dude is slick. His kickboxing, his timing, like he's a high level black belt in every aspect of MMA.
Big belt. Who give him that?
Jack versus Islam, I think, is huge. Not as big as Ilya versus Islam, but who knows? Maybe they both win and Islam comes back down to 55 and the fight's even bigger.
Jack Hermansson shared a more measured viewpoint. He gave Islam full respect as perhaps the greatest lightweight in the world, but questioned whether that same dominance would exist at welterweight. He acknowledged Maddalena's victory over Muhammad as an important milestone, yet hesitated to label him as truly elite just yet. In Hermansson's mind, Maddalena still needed more top-tier tests before being cemented among the very best in the division.
Yeah, it's so hard because you never know when people are changing weight classes. But in lightweight, Islam looks like unbeatable. It's just like maybe the pound for pound best. It's just so insanely good. But can he do it in a weight class above? I'm not sure. Really, really hard to predict a fight like that. I think I still have to say Islam.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. Yeah, we need to see a few more fights with Jack. It looked amazing against Bilal, but yeah, I don't know, man. It's something about Islam is just so good.
Israel Adesanya, experienced in handling elite wrestlers, explained that Maddalena's best path was to create distance and force a striking battle. If Jack kept the fight standing, he could frustrate Islam's rhythm. Still, Adesanya didn't downplay the danger, reminding fans that Islam can shift into wrestling mode instantly, and keeping focus for every second of the fight would be Maddalena's biggest challenge.
Della versus Islam. How are we feeling about that?
I think Della is going to get it done. I feel from talking to Tim and also seeing Della, and also I've only sparred Della once, like not really hard crazy, but, and I didn't try and take him down at all, but I've seen him at your gym sparring, and his scrambles are crazy.
Yeah, he's good
Even
with
watching him
scrambles.
with Bilal as well, and Gilbert Burns, his scrambles are crazy, and I feel Islam would feel like he bit off more than he could chew once he gets in there with him, because when he puts some things on him, he's like, oh shit, I'm not standing with this guy, I have to take him down. And then he tries, gets him down, and he gets back up, or he couldn't get him down, because he's a big dude. People don't realize how big Della is as well, and he's solid. So I really
Dense,
think,
man, just dense.
Dense, yeah. Like when I felt, like I said, we're sparring, and then it's just a weight behind it, and the way he throws it, the body banging, man, fucking good.
Charles Oliveira, who has first-hand experience of Islam's grappling dominance, weighed in as well. He admitted that Maddalena's composure inside the cage was impressive, but he recognized the enormous challenge ahead. If the fight stayed on the feet, Oliveira believed Maddalena's clean striking could allow him to slowly chip away at Islam. But he also knew how difficult it is to prevent Islam from dragging a fight to the ground.
Quem que você acha que ganha entre o Jack Della Maddalena e o Islam?
Maddalena, ele é um jogo muito complicado, porque ele é um cara que ele não vem pra te nocautear rápido, ele vem pra te finalizar, ele vem te magoando, né?
Aos poucos, né?
Aos poucos. Foi o que ele fez agora na luta contra o Bilal. Só que eu acho que o Isla vai se dar muito bem nessa categoria, né, mano? Agora vai estar muito mais forte, é um jogo que, tipo, ele gosta de agarrar e botar pra baixo. Eu acho que o Jack Maddalena fazia a mesma luta que ele fez, né? Agora contra o Bilal, batendo, movimentando, saindo, machucando, é uma luta, mas se deixar o Isla agarrar e botar pra baixo é o time.
Ian Machado Gary was one of the earliest to voice his opinion. He praised Islam for his balanced skill set and steady growth, but leaned toward Maddalena. For Gary, deciding factor was size. Maddalena is a true welterweight who could never make the lightweight limit, while Islam is stepping up from 155. That size gap in Gary's eyes could give Maddalena the opportunity to land something significant and end the fight in dramatic fashion.
Who do you think wins, Jack or Islam?
It's such a tough one to talk about. Islam is phenomenal. He's good everywhere. Size matters. When you're talking about an extra 15 pounds, when you look at the size of Volkanovski versus Jack Della Maddalena, there's a big size discrepancy. And Volk gave him a good fight. And then Dustin Poirier, it wasn't absolutely completely dominant by Islam. It was a tough fight. Size is going to play a huge part. Even on the ground, I feel like Jack could get it done with just some clean boxing and good takedown defense. But I can absolutely see Islam coming in and doing what Islam does and going out there and just looks like the phenomenal mixed martial artist he is.
Carlos Breitz echoed some of those points. Despite coming off a loss to Gary, he maintained confidence in his view of the main event. Breitz pointed to Maddalena's steady movement, especially his takedown defense and the sharp game plan he used against Muhammad, as reasons he could handle Islam's grappling heavy style. While he didn't see it as an easy fight, he believed Maddalena had the ability to grind out a decision victory if things went his way.
The main event is also in your weight class, JDM and Islam. Who do you think is going to win that?
I think the favorite is Islam, but Jackie show like he grew up a lot as a fighter. Since he stopped fight now, he was a long time without fight, almost 2 years, and he got really good skills to fight Belal Muhammad, defense takedowns. So I think he's gonna win.
You think Jack is going to win?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think he wins a decision, or do you think he stops him?
I think decision is really hard fight.
You think Islam stays at 170 or he goes back?
If he lose, I don't know. It depends how he feels during the fights. How close is gonna be the fight, you know?
All these voices paint a vivid picture of a matchup filled with intrigue and contrasting narratives. The result is a fight that feels less like a simple matchup and more like a turning point, and for Islam, it could confirm that his dominance stretches across divisions. For Maddalena, it could mark his arrival as a true force in one of the sport's most competitive weight classes, but either way, the clash promises not just action inside the cage, but ripple effects that will shape the UFC for years to come.